Hi everyone, welcome to RAIT 301 Sectional Anatomy. I wanted to go over a few things about the course, especially if you haven't had a Canvas course before, to give you some information about how the course is laid out and what the expectations are. So every week I will have a new updated homepage so that you know what you'll need to do for that week, a little synopsis of the schedule. For this first week, I have all of the Let's Get Started module expectations. So there'll be this video that you're watching, a syllabus and quiz. The syllabus and quiz is not difficult. You can take it as many times as you need to in order to get the 10 points, but it's just so that you can understand a little bit more about the course and what the expectations are for the entire course. There's a Proctor Quiz. This is also not difficult, but we're using Respondus Monitor and Browser this quarter instead of Examity, and so I want to make sure that your webcam and your audio is set up for that and you understand the process of it and how long it might take. It'll be basically the same idea as using Examity, so you'll have to show your ID and then you'll need to make sure your surroundings are clear. So sometimes they'll ask you to tilt your laptop or take your webcam and show your desk space to make sure that it's clear and that you don't have any notes, because all tests are closed note and closed book. So I want to walk you through that process, and so the Proctor Quiz is not difficult, but it's just a few questions so that you get used to the idea and make sure that you can see images that pop up on the screen and that sort of thing. There's some instructions here and some discussion expectations so that you know what the discussion should entail, how much information you should put on those, and when they're due, and some other information here that I'd like to have you watch so that you're more familiar with Respondus Monitor and Browser too before you get started. So that's what's involved with this first week, and I will also show you the modules here in just a little bit. And let's go up to modules here. So for modules, this is laid out on a week-by-week basis. So you'll have the Let's Get Started module first, and these are all those same things that were on the first page. And then after that, it goes week by week, and you can see what's ahead of you. All the rest of the modules will open up once you finish the Let's Get Started module, but you need to complete that first. And then you'll have access to all the rest of the modules. There are study guides, and there's also video recording as well, so that you get both just the written information that you can maybe use to study from where you might take notes, and then also an audio recording that I record for you. And for the lectures, I don't usually have my image in it, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm using Screencast-O-Matic for this. And later on in the quarter, when I start having you do drawings, you'll choose one of those drawings and do a video presentation. So this Screencast-O-Matic, this free version of it, is a really great tool to use for that. It doesn't cost anything. You're able to show your audio and your video really easily. So that's a great way to do this. We also have discussions. I'm going to move down to discussions here. And I set up discussions in one of two ways. I either have the discussion first post, the post that you make, due on a Thursday, and then the replies to your classmates due on a Sunday, that same Sunday of the same week. Or if it's a 2-week discussion, I'll have you reply on the first Sunday or post your own response on the first Sunday and then reply to your peers by the second Sunday. So just keep track of that. Make sure you read in the discussion when it's due, and I try to put that information in the very beginning so that you can see that. But check the discussions early to make sure which version of that it is. It's usually the first couple of discussions that are original post due on Thursday and then replies due on Sunday, and then the later ones are usually a 2-week discussion item. So there's our discussions there. And we also have assignments, so any of the assignments that are coming up due are available within your assignments tab. All the drawings and the quizzes and exams, and also the exam practices. I have some exams that you can they're like little review modules, and they have some little test questions in there, so it's something that you can review and kind of gives you an idea of the kinds of questions that'll be on the exams. I just have those for the exams, not for the quizzes, because the exams are 80 questions long and the quizzes are only 25, so I felt like you needed a little bit more prep time for the exams. And then also, you can always go to your grades to get more information about grades and where you're at in the class. There's the Netter's Atlas of Human Anatomy. This is one that's available through the library, and it will always take you to a new tab. You'll need to be logged into Canvas in order to access this. And I do use both the Netter's 5th and 6th versions in my lectures. I know that's frustrating to some people, but there are some images that are only available in one or the other, and there are good images in both. And I'd like you to have some familiarity with both books. So make sure you're studying from both of these. And then I'll close out that tab. And then also, some of you may have chosen to get access for the required book, and it says IA course materials. I couldn't change the name, so I'm sorry about that, but the Imaging Atlas of Anatomy is available through Bellevue College as well. Sorry, that weird came up and I almost said it that way. So you can access the online version there. And let's go back here, and then there's an e-anatomy link, and this one I use quite frequently as well in my lectures. It's got really good information and lots of cross-sectional anatomy images in axial, coronal, and sagittal views. Some of them are premium versions and some are just the free versions, but if you log in through Bellevue College, you should have access to all of them. There are not only images, but there's also illustrations, and the illustrations are sometimes really helpful to try to understand how the anatomy works. How it all fits together. So going back to that, in terms of the presentation that I'm going to have you do for one of those drawings, you could also do it for more than one if you choose. If you really feel like you learn a lot from doing the presentations, which I certainly feel like I did when I started teaching anatomy, actually having to lecture and explain to somebody that something is anterior or posterior, left, right, superior, inferior from another piece of anatomy really helped me solidify anatomy for myself. And I think you'll find that that's helpful for you too. So you're more than welcome to do a presentation for more than one of the drawings. But there are at least one. You have to do it for at least one. It can't be the heart drawing because there isn't that much information to include. But I would say that using the language of sectional anatomy is very important for that presentation. Being able to explain it to somebody that, that the optic nerves are anterior to the optic chiasm and the optic tracts are posterior to the optic chiasm, for instance, that would be something that might be important to include in a presentation that you do. So make sure that you tell us that if you have an image where the anterior and posterior side of the patient is, or left and right, or superior, inferior, depending on that image, and then also within that image, how some anatomy relates to the rest of the anatomy. A couple other things that I wanted to go over are announcements. If there's anything wrong with one of our programs like Netter's or e-anatomy and we don't have access to it for a while, or if I need to extend an exam deadline because we don't have access to those for some reason, I will put that in announcements. So that may be one of the things that you want to be sure that you get reminders of every day. Whereas maybe getting announcements about discussion items, and when somebody's posted, you might not want those immediate reminders. So where you make that decision or that change is under your account up at the upper left-hand corner here, and then notifications. And then you can choose when that comes up whether you want to be notified right away, or a daily summary, weekly summary, or don't send anything. And you can make those decisions for all the different types of notifications that you can get for a course. And then going back to the course here, the other thing I wanted to let you know about is contacting me. So the best way to contact me is through Canvas email, and all that email is forwarded to my BC email. If you can't get a hold of me by Canvas email or BC email and you call, please make sure you leave me a message. If I don't know who's called me, I don't often call back because there's a lot of solicitors that call. So please do leave me a message. We can also set up a Zoom conference call if needed, or go through the Connex Ed or Cranium Cafe, Skype, any kind of video conference if you need that, or just a telephone conversation. So please let me know if you need any help with any things in this course or more information, and I will try to set you up with some resources. So please have fun with this course, enjoy the anatomy, and we'll see you online. Thanks so much.